It's mic'd up with Mikey Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there. He's punching me in the stomach. Like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Chico can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's doing 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think I'm going to practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You're more fucked up than me.
On the spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
You heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. So.
Whoa. What was that?
Good show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it?
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like, they should
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. Hello. Welcome back to Mic'd Up. Today is Monday, April 14th. We have a wild show for you today. I know a lot of people are not enjoying this Monday if you're LSU baseball fans. If you're a Rory McIlroy fan, you're enjoying this day. I'm sure Rory is enjoying this day. Completed the career Grand Slam. Got the big monkey off his back. Wins the Masters. Electric Masters all weekend. Very entertaining. Perfect weather. Not only here, but perfect weather in Augusta.
They sent it all to Auburn.
Huh?
They sent it all down to Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah, all the bad weather. Well, at least on Friday.
Yeah.
Friday. The bad weather was at Auburn. We are going to talk about the series. Obviously, LSU comes home getting swept. They are still 10-5 in conference. We're going to talk about what's next, what their path is. It's not doomsday. Like I said, they're still 10-5. That's the beauty of getting 3 sweeps early in the season. You never want to get swept on the road, but sometimes shit happens and you got to deal with it and you move past it. Right now, currently going on is the Pirates versus the Nationals. Some people will be like, ooh, why are you watching that game? They stink. Yeah? Well, Paul Skenes on the mound and Dylan Cruz in center field. So this is the first time they are matched up, I believe, in the big leagues. So it'll be a fun matchup. We're obviously going to be watching it, giving updates as it goes. Pittsburgh is up 1-0.
Is it their first time in Pro Bowl period, too, or no?
I think so.
That's Jared Mitchell, SEC Network.
So. Oh, yeah, there's Jared Mitchell, SEC Network. You look great again, as always. Boom. Beautiful. Say 4-iron golf swing. Masters inspired you. 4-iron look good. Great video you sent us. Looks really good. I was very jealous.
Still loading.
I was very jealous that you were out there because I did not get to swing a golf club this weekend. Lloyd did, but he might as well have not have. Lloyd did not like the way he played, but you're out there. And that's the most important.
86. Not great at the
Oh,
wetlands.
that's not bad.
No, it
You
just
made it seem like you went way worse than that.
10 stone cold shanks on the range made me.
Okay, but that's fine. But
a little sweat on the back.
86 with the shanks is not bad.
No, yeah, first swing was tough.
Yeah, it's
And
okay.
Yep.
It's okay. It happens. I got golf a lot this weekend, which I'm very excited about. Weather was perfect. I got a little golf tan, but not from golf. It was from pickleball on Sunday with the family, the in-laws,
How'd
for
you
my
do?
wife's birthday. I mean, I had to,
I would love to see you not tone it down.
I toned it down. I actually only played one full game because I was.
Did you square one up into the back of your wife's leg again? Like,
It's
did
just
that
the game,
happen?
Walker.
Hey, Allie's good at it. Allie's good at pickleball, and
Shout out 45.
I was very. My competitive juices were.
Flowing.
Nope, where it was subdued is what I was trying to do. I didn't want to get too
You must have
crazy.
snuck off, then. You must have snuck off.
Uh-huh, did a dog
I was
walk.
watching. I was going back between the Masters
Did Kobe had
and
to go for a
LSU
walk?
baseball. LSU baseball at 3-2. I was watching the game whenever it was 3-0. They obviously made a little bit of a comeback. Great weekend. All in all, beautiful weekend. Great weekend. Obviously, this weekend's Easter Sunday. Weather's supposed to be just as good. Get out there, go play some golf, do what you need to do. New Orleans Pelicans fire David Griffin. 6 years as the president of basketball operations. Rumor is they're going to hire Joe Dumars, which I think is a good move.
Maybe.
Louisiana native, was exec of the year back in 2004 with the Pistons whenever they were good. He has been the head of NBA basketball operations. The rumor is he is going to be the next in line in New Orleans. We'll see what happens.
I hope
with that.
I hope David Griffin takes his piano with him.
I hope so too. Oh, here it is. First matchup, Paul Skenes, Dylan Cruz, right now. Live as we speak. First pitch, slider, strike.
Yeah, do this live.
Okay, first pitch, sweeper, 0-1. Front hipped him, got it back over the plate for a first pitch strike. Got a guy on first base, 1 out or 2 outs. Throws another sweeper. That was a strike. Called to the ball.
Good
was
take.
a strike. Called to the ball.
Good take.
Now it's 1-1. You got
LSU fan. A young buck.
Young buck.
He knows nothing but success. Skenes cleaned up a little bit. Beard's coming in
You
nicely.
think they went to breakfast today?
Yeah.
Fastball, 97 outside corner, painted, fouled it off, 1-2. Now Dylan is stepping out the box. He's trying to call time, trying to regroup.
Take
Good
that
move.
graphic off the screen.
Good move. Yeah, average doesn't matter. As long as the ball doesn't get skipped in there and the umpire says you're hitting 116, what the fuck do you think I'm going to call?
That's happened to you.
That happened to me. 1-2 pitch, just not a position you want to be in against Paul Skenes. And Dylan
Hey, there we go.
puts the ball in play.
Look
Right
at him
to
run,
Paul.
though. Hey, speed to first.
Right, didn't strike out, put the ball in play. Right, listen, it's the best pitcher in the game. He wins the first matchup between
Not a strikeout.
not a strikeout.
And the
Dylan-
last time I think they faced each other.
was at Air Force and hit a home run.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you got him last time, so yeah.
Yeah. Before we get to the baseball conversation, we want to obviously talk a little bit about the incident that happened over the weekend. Our thoughts and prayers are with Kyren Lacy and his family. Obviously, tragic situation. You never want to see anybody take their own life. You never want to see anybody pass away. Jared, I think you said it great on your tweet. Check on those that mean the most to you. Check on people. See how they're doing. You never know what someone's going through. Obviously, you kind of knew what was going on with Kyren in the public about things that allegedly happened. I think that everybody needs to cool the jets on that actual incident of what happened because I think there's more to the story than that. The grand jury was supposed to be today. Obviously, Kyren, the pressures of that and the pressures that came around the being, I guess, tried in the public eye were too much, and that is a sad thing, and that is a terrible incident. And you never want to see that, and it was a sad day for LSU football, a sad day for the state of Louisiana, a sad day, obviously, for Kyren Lacy's family. His dad had a nice tweet about you never know, what somebody is going through. Don't accept, I'm doing all right, I'm fine. Make sure you open up a door for someone to talk to. But obviously gone way too soon, and our thoughts and prayers are with Kyren Lacy and his family. Terrible deal. Terrible situation. Terrible incident.
LSU legend, though.
LSU legend. That's a huge moment. And I think he had a promising career in the NFL. I think he had an opportunity once all this stuff was going to get put behind him, because I do firmly believe that it was going to get put behind him. I do firmly believe that the grand jury was going to find that the incident did not occur the way it was laid out. And but unfortunately, Kyren just, the pressures and depression's real, man. Depression's real. But our thoughts and prayers are with Kyren and his family. With that said, we obviously have to talk sports, and we're gonna do that. But I just we had to acknowledge that because it happened, and it's something that everybody should talk about. So, with that note, LSU comes back this weekend from an 0-3 weekend. Not great. Not ideal. Not the way any of us saw this weekend going. And I think the way it panned out and the way it kind of unfolded was not how any of us kind of anticipated it happening. I thought if they were going to lose the series or they weren't going to play well, it was going to be because they walked a bunch of guys or the bullpen struggled and all those types of things, and it was quite the opposite. Offense did not perform to the level that they have been performing throughout the course of the year. Starting pitching wasn't great. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. The LSU got behind every game early on and struggled to score runs to be able to catch up and win games. And so the bullpen, if there is a silver lining, the bullpen pitched very well. The bullpen actually kept LSU in the game for them to try to make runs. First, the Friday game was an ass whooping from start to finish. They jumped. The weather was kind of wonky, not great. Auburn jumped on us, scored a bunch of runs. I think it was 8-0, and LSU scored some at the end to make it kind of respectable. But the next two games were really good baseball games, and LSU just didn't get the hits with runners and scoring resistance to score and to take the lead. And sometimes baseball just happens, right? Sometimes there's not, what's going on? What's the reason? We got to change all this stuff. Sometimes it's just, hey, they went out, they played better than us in 3 straight games. We didn't take advantage of the opportunities that we needed to, and you lose the game, right? They didn't walk the house. They didn't boot the ball over the field. They didn't do things that you would normally say, there's some issues there. In my mind, it was just a bad weekend for the offense and a subpar weekend for the starting pitching. But, they didn't get blown out. They had an opportunity to win 2 of the 3 games, and they didn't do it. And the reality of it is they're 0-3. The other reality of it is they're still 10-5 in conference play with the meat of their schedule coming up all at home and with the opportunity to reach all the goals that they had set for themselves at the start of the season. So that's my take on the weekend. Jerry, what's your take? You're up in the booth out in Charlotte. You're watching it from a different perspective. You had all the screens. You saw all the games. What was your take on LSU this weekend? And we're going to get to the SEC later on in the show. Uh-oh. Hold on. I think you're muted.
Wait, I'm muted?
No, that was me.
Nope, that was Lloyd.
Hand up. That was on me.
Hand up, Lloyd.
I was like, wait, I never did that.
Hand up. Hand up.
Turn it down.
So I actually love that they lost the way they did. And I truly do mean that. I don't know if y'all remember, but I did say, going into the weekend, I expected LSU to win the series. And I said, if they can handle and do what they need to do against Auburn's pitching, which I fully expected them to, then they should be able to win this series easily. Now, I was like, you do have to watch out. Auburn's got a few sticks in that lineup that makes them a legit team. They're right now sitting there as a top 5 hitting team in the conference, right? So I knew that was a possibility, but I was like, if LSU can do what they need to do against their pitching, they should be fine. I love that they lost this way because all season, the only thing we've really been able to scream about, or not even our fan base, the LSU fan base has been able to scream about, is the pitching and or the bullpen. You don't have that, right? You don't have that. You can't yell about that. Now you can sit here and say, well, they need to be able to hit in the clutch. They need to start doing this. And Yeah, of course they do. But you're still looking at the second best hitting team in the SEC as of date today. The team that's number 1 went on the road and got their ass whipped too this week.
Yep.
So I'm just kind of giving you some context in this thing. But and here's the further context I'll give to you, because I think we would all agree that this is not something that'll stand. And then I'll give you my only worry about this team, and I've said it from the start. So on the weekend, just pulled up these numbers myself. I actually did this just before the show because I was just wondering, looking through it. 3 through 7 in the lineup. And this is minus whoever came in and had pinch hit at bats, replacement at bats. 3 through 7 in the lineup went 8 for 47 on the weekend with 10 strikeouts.
Right.
If you're wondering, that's a 170 average on the weekend.
Yep.
Numbers 1 and 2, who obviously didn't change all weekend. All 3 games, still the same 2 players. On the weekend, they went 4 for 28 with 7 strikeouts. That's a 143 average on the weekend. I think we can all sit here and say that's the definition of an outlier.
Yeah.
That shit ain't happening every weekend.
Right.
It's not. It's just not going to happen. So when you go on the road and you lose to a top 15 team and you play that way offensively, I love that you lose that way, because I don't feel like that's something I'm going to continue to see. Now I will give you my one concern. My one concern is much like we saw Arkansas do last year in the postseason, much like we saw Georgia do when they ran into arms that just dominated them last year in the postseason. When you don't have that middle of the lineup presence, so like I'm a firm believer in this. Like I truly believe this. And it's not because I feel like somebody like Ethan Fry has to hit the homer every time, or Luis Hernandez has to hit the homer every time. It could be a double. It could be a rolled over double into the gap. I don't know if you watched the Georgia game on Sunday, but one of their best players came in and hit a line drive double off the wall that kept the game going. So it's not about the homer. My point is when you have those guys in the middle of the lineup that everyone knows is a dude and they are performing, what happens is and I don't really think that there's like a true way of quantifying it or being able to put numbers to it or seeing it that way. But I think playing the game as long as I did is the same thing as you, Mikey. I believe when you have guys like that in the lineup, it innately throughout the game, it puts way more stressful innings on arms, because they start looking up and down, whether they'll never admit it, but they'll know who's after Bear. Oh, 2 down. Okay, shit, I got Bear here. Got him out. Oh, shit, I got these next 3 dudes. I got to be good with it. It starts putting way more stressful pitches throughout the game on not just the starter, but the rest of the staff. And I believe that when that happens, innately, usually somewhere down the line, they leave some shit over the middle and somebody's able to get to something.
Right.
Like, that's what I truly think happens. So it's not necessarily that I need Ethan Fry in the lineup to hit 360 with 30. That's not what I'm saying. It's not necessarily that Luis has to do exactly, but you have to be able to have those guys in the lineup performing well. That way people know, I can't fuck around.
No doubt.
Sooner or later, that guy's coming up and he ain't going to keep missing, whatever that not missing is. And that it needs to strike fear in them physically when they stand up at the plate. Like, that's just, bro, go look around. Go look at the teams that's won in the last few years. They all have that aspect offensively.
Yeah.
And so that's what when I watch this team, I'm like, I don't expect what happened this weekend to keep happening. But what I do need is for Ethan to keep coming, for Hernandez to keep coming, for Pearson to keep balling, for Milam to keep doing his thing. But you have to have those presence guys, those guys that legitimately, when they look at them, when they step in the box, they just like, shit, it looks different.
Yeah, I can't make it.
I don't know if I want to throw this one right over the plate.
Right.
And it's literally just that to me. That's how I feel about this team.
Look, I agree. And look, I think that, you talk about all of that, and I don't disagree with any of that. Like, I agree. Like, I wish they need to have guys in the middle of the lineup that are going to strike fear in guys. The issue with, I don't want to call it issue, but the thing with baseball is it's such a long season, right? Obviously, college baseball is more of a sprint than professional baseball. But it's such a long season that, it's inevitable that you're going to go through. What's wrong?
There's a bug.
Oh. It's inevitable that you're going to go through the ebbs and flows. Like, it's inevitable you're going to go through a slump, right? How long that slump lasts, I don't know, right? But nobody is going to start the season blazing hot and go wire to wire, blazing hot. Dylan Cruz last year, one of the greatest seasons that LSU's seen, he had a stretch where he was struggling, right? It just so happened that this weekend you had a lot of guys go through that. Last couple weekends, really, you've had a lot of guys go through that. Now, they've been able to overcome it because they've been able to get on base different ways. They've been able to drive guys in. This weekend, it all kind of came to a head, and that is okay. That's a normal occurrence in baseball, right? Milam hasn't gotten hot, right? Milam is kind of trying to figure it out, right? Not that he's, like, unbelievably struggling, but he's battling, right? Dickinson, battling, right? All those guys that you had just mentioned, they're all battling, and they're they're staying afloat until they feel comfortable again, which is the normal ebbs and flows of baseball. And so I don't see this happening week in and week out. I don't see them, hitting sub 200 as a team. I don't see them leaving. What'd you say it was 4 for 26 runners in scoring position on the weekend, Lloyd? I think you said this morning.
Yeah, so they had. I could go through it.
Go ahead.
LSU, this is the ugly part of it. I'm not gonna be. I'm not in this camp. But the numbers are the numbers.
Right.
So this weekend, LSU had 24 strikeouts, 12 on Friday, left 26 runners on base. Your big three, Curiel, Jones, and Dickinson, 8 for 42. On Sunday, Auburn walked 7, hit 2. You had 9 free passes and scored 2 runs. Jared Jones on the weekend, 1 for 13 with 6 strikeouts. Ethan Fry, 0 for 7 with 2 strikeouts. Luis Hernandez, 1 for 9 with 4 strikeouts. Those 3 combined to go 1 for 29 with 12 strikeouts. For the weekend, LSU was 3 for 27 with runners in scoring position and left 26 men on base.
So my point in saying all that is
that's not gonna happen again.
Based off of the season, that's not like that. It was just it wasn't a good weekend offensively.
And
that is what it is.
Get out.
People are asking, what do they need to do to stop hitting these fly balls? We hadn't been complaining about that all year. We hadn't. It's just a random weekend, and it was an outlier of a weekend. And these guys, listen, and I made the example this morning. Whenever you get down early on, and you're not scoring runs in the first game, you're not really scoring runs, and you start getting down early, sometimes you put a little bit more pressure on yourself to try to generate some momentum.
Homer,
right? And that's just the reality of it. And the fact of the matter is, they all struggled at the same time this weekend, and that's what you get. That's not something that we've seen to this point, and I believe that's not something we're going to see. You're going to continue to see.
Like I said, bro, it's so rare. It's really rare to find one team have that many guys struggling all at the same time. Like, that's just not no.
Right.
Like,
and you know what happens?
If I go look up and down the worst team in the league right now, Missouri, it didn't look like it. They don't have a weekend that looked like it's so rare for that to happen. So that's why when I look at the weekend, I'm like, yeah, that shit sucked to watch. It wasn't very good. Nothing that really happened, but it doesn't make me go, oh my God.
Right. Oh, we got some issues. We got some big issues. Yeah.
No. The issues I thought that, because no team's perfect for the most part, the issues that I thought they possibly had to start the year is the same thing I still feel. But that's not because of what happened last weekend.
Right. Yeah, and look, they, you go look at what Auburn did. Auburn's top guys in the lineup, good job.
Thank you.
Auburn's top guys in the lineup got hits when they needed to. They had some big moments. They had some big hits. LSU's guys did not. And, outside of the first game, outside of the Friday night game, every other game was a 1 or 2 runs. And you had opportunities to drive guys in that didn't happen, and that's just part of the game of baseball. And the other part of it is when you're struggling like that and the weekend is kind of unfolding to where, man, we're not getting hits, we're not driving guys in. The balls that you do hit hard end up being right at guys, right? Or, you're just kind of getting unlucky because that's just the way baseball works. I was watching the Sunday game. LSU's down 3-0 in the 8th inning. Dickinson hits that ball off the center field wall. The center fielder almost caught it. When he hit it, I was like, somehow the center fielder's going to catch it. Now, he didn't, and they were able to get in the game, and that was the first run. And then I believe that wasn't the first run. That got guys in scoring position, and then Jake Brown got the 2 RBI single to make it 3-2. But
yeah, when you go through Game 3, in the 4th, LSU left runners on 2nd and 3rd. In the 5th, bases loaded with Daniel Dixon struck out to end the 5th.
Right.
And then they scored 2 in the 8th, a Dickinson double, Milam RBI ground out, Jake Brown RBI single, still not enough.
That's right.
12 flyouts, and that's been if people are complaining about the offense, that's been the number one complaint.
The flyouts.
The flyouts. But you can't have it both ways. You can't complain about the flyouts and complain about Oh, why are they bunting? Why are they moving people over?
It's just listen, the hitting the fly balls and having fly balls, to me that hasn't been an issue. You're hitting 344 as a team, like balls are going to be up. You're going to hit balls in the air. Not everything's. It's not old school baseball anymore where you just stay on top and hit ground balls. That just doesn't happen. Like, doesn't happen.
I want you to think about that. Could you imagine the year Dylan coming up to the plate and he's hitting 344 and everybody's just like, man, he just every time he gets out there, he's just hitting fly balls. Like, if I'm watching a team hit 344, man, whatever, bro. They're going to get out some kind of way. What you talking about?
It's only 1 or 2 ways can happen.
Like, it can't be perfect. God, dog, man.
And look, they're not
What do you mean too high?
They're not a team that strikes out a lot. They struck out a lot this weekend. That's just it was an outlier. And I'm not here trying to be super positive because, look, if they showed things this weekend that really were concerning to me, I would say it. I think we've been very honest about last year. We were very honest about what they were
To a fault.
right? And this year, I think we've been pretty honest of what they are and what they see. I've seen enough baseball. I've played enough baseball to see this situation happen. Listen, in 2010, I was hitting 375. I thought I was gonna hit 400 for the year.
Not you.
We were rolling. I was like, everything was like it was a beach ball. It felt great. We played Vanderbilt at home. I went 0 for 14 with 7 strikeouts.
Oh.
Like, shit happens, dude. The team doesn't hit. It just, you go through these stretches and you have to get out of it. And Milam did it last year and then got hot at the end of the year. About this time is when he started getting hot, right? Bear Jones hasn't really gone through a weekend like that yet. And I believe that the weekends coming up are going to be
Better.
a lot better.
He's proven the ability to adjust.
No doubt. And look, I think what you can see is Milam struggled. He hit the homer, right? He's battling. He's figuring it out. Dickinson struggled a little bit, battled, figured some stuff out, got a big hit at the end of on the Sunday game. So
did we not say
they're going to figure it out.
Did we not say all of this whenever Dickinson was scorching hot, hitting 400? We're like, look, came from where?
Utah Valley
State, where it's like he's seen a lot of this pitching kind of before, and then you put him in SEC play at some point.
And he's been good in SEC play
he
so
has
far.
been, but at some point, like, the other foot was going to drop for all these cats, and it just all happened on the same weekend.
Can I just say this too? Like, I always think about this too, because I think this is a real thing. I've mentioned this before. I've said it to y'all before. So you're looking at an LSU team that's like leading the league in doubles, right? Leading the SEC in doubles. Yep. But they are near probably middle, because there's some teams that's not doing great, but probably middle to lower half of the league in homers.
Right.
Now, I'm only saying that because if I think about it, like truly think about it, if I have a weekend where Curiel's not on base every at bat, and then Bear's hitting behind him, and then the guys are starting to struggle a little bit behind him, are you really trying to throw Bear much to hit?
Right.
So if no one's on in front of him, because Curiel's struggling the weekend, and then you know the guys behind him are struggling, well, damn. I'm not really going to be tossing him cookies either, because I ain't got to. Right. I'm going to make somebody else do it. And I think a lot of that kind of goes, like, people forget how much of, like, you can't run the 4x4 without passing the baton.
Yep.
That baton's got to be passed in baseball as well. Like, I think people look at it and say, well, still to this day, because of those numbers, they look at it and say, who's the threat? All right, if the guys are not going to hit around the threat, we damn sure ain't pitching to the threat. And that's what I mean by, like, when I look at it, we've seen, and this truly isn't to call him out. Like, I think I've done this on the other side when it comes to pitching, but I think the team becomes a different thing when you see Ethan Fry and guys like that start to take that next step on the weekend in the SEC play. When you see those guys start to take that next step, it becomes, oh shit.
Yep.
We can't really pitch around that guy anymore.
Well, look,
oh shit! Because if we do, these guys may get us.
Yep.
And I think that's when the shit changes. And by that mindset, it's not necessarily that they will hit the homer. It may be the double. It may be the rollover double down the line. Like, those things happen, but that becomes the mindset of the pitcher and or the pitching coach and the staff. Right. And I think that's the stuff that changes it.
Well, and look, we talked about this last year when Milam was going through it. We talked about this when Larson got in there, right? The SEC play, it's a different animal, right? So SEC pitching is really good. The scouting report, the information you have, they're going to make adjustments to these hitters. You have a lot of guys that you are relying on in this lineup that haven't really played in the SEC. Curiel hasn't played in the SEC yet. Dickinson hasn't played in the SEC yet. Luis Hernandez hasn't played in the SEC yet. And honestly, Ethan Fry hasn't played a ton of games in the SEC because he's been banged up for the last couple of years, right? And so over time, Reeves hasn't played in the SEC yet. Over time, those guys, I believe, are going to go through this stretch, and then they're going to get out of it, right? Milam did it his freshman year, right? And so it's going to take them – you're going to go through a stretch where you're struggling, where teams are figuring you out, and then it's up to you to figure it out on the other side. And I have no doubt that they're going to be able to do that. They just – the more innings they play, the more at-bats they get, the more comfortable they get in the SEC. I know it's middle of the SEC. You're like, well, how does that happen? Because you don't know when it's going to happen, right? You don't know when – you're going to go and you're going to have a weekend like this where you struggle. But the challenge for them is to, okay, this is what happened. This is why it happened. Let's go make the adjustments offensively. And I firmly believe that they're going to do that. They haven't given me a reason. They haven't given me a reason or a reason to say, oh, they're not going to, right? They've made adjustments.
That's such a great point. It's one of the greatest points you've made, man. Like, and it's so true. Like, there's a lot of guys that's new to this league, and I get it. They came in here blazing hot. It's different when you get to this league. It just is. People are going to pitch you differently. You're going to see the different kind. Like, there's more of a scouting report. There's more of an emphasis on what we're trying to do. And, like, that's just how the game's going to go. So, like, once you get into this league, there is an adjustment period. There is a period of trying to figure out, okay, what exactly is going on and how am I going to mesh and how am I going to work in this environment? It's just different.
Listen. Mississippi State beat Alabama this weekend. Alabama was riding high. They lost last weekend to Auburn. They lost this past weekend to Mississippi State. Tennessee was in a dogfight all weekend with Ole Miss. Probably the best series of the weekend. Tennessee wins 2 out of 3. Ole Miss had a chance to win the series, right? Kentucky, number 1 team in the country is Texas. Kentucky had an opportunity to win all 3 games. That's what we said. Didn't we not say that last weekend on Friday? Hey, the Tennessee-Ole Miss game is going to be – all 3 games are going to be really good. All 3 games could go either way. We believe Tennessee was going to win 2 out of 3. They did. We said the same thing with their 1 team, Texas, going to Kentucky. Kentucky's a scrappy team. They always kind of make these guys play sloppy and kind of play to their game. Texas wins the series. I think they went 2-1, but all 3 games could have gone one way or the other, right? Texas just made the plays to win the game, and they were able to win. Right, and that's the way this league is. Oklahoma, we left for dead after LSU goes and sweeps them at Oklahoma. We thought they were going to struggle and they were going to have Vanderbilt just coming off a sweep. Oklahoma beats Vanderbilt 2 out of 3. So it is a tough league. Every weekend you have to be on your P's and Q's. Georgia, after they just got swept against Texas, beats Arkansas 2 out of 3, who was the number 1 team in the country. So it is a war of attrition in this league, and the beauty of what's coming forward, the back half of the SEC, yeah, it's the toughest, but you got the 3 toughest games, teams you got at home. Alabama scuffling, you get them this weekend. You go out there, take care of business, and you got Tennessee at home, and then you go on the road to A&M, who's playing good ball, and you got Arkansas at home. So you have all of the best conference games at home in the back half of the season, and to me that's a good thing.
Definitely a good thing to be doing that and have all those conference games coming back at home. But you got to remember, man, like we almost sound like SEC homers, obviously because we played in the league, and you think we're just trying to play this side of it up. We're not. Don't forget, Florida went 13-17 in the league last year. And was almost one of the last. I think they were probably one of the last teams to get into the postseason. LSU was 3-12 in the first 15 games last year. Like, this league is tough, man. Yep. And when you figure it out and you start going, you got to go. Like, nobody wants to get swept. Nobody wants to, and they got swept this weekend. But we can't just sit here and dismiss that they swept 3 weekends already this year too. Like, you have to start acknowledging for what it actually is. So if you're that mad about this weekend, then be happy that they went on the road in shit weather last weekend and went 3-0. So they're sitting here at 500 over the last 2 weekends in this league. That's surviving when you're not playing.
No doubt. And look, here's the other deal. What was our record in 2009 when we won the World Series? In the SEC.
20-10, I believe.
20-10. All right, we lost one series. We lost at home to Tennessee, who was the worst team in the league. And we won every other series 2 games. I think we swept one series against Auburn. We lost a series against Tennessee. And we ended up going 20-10. Right? That's basically technically winning every series. What was their record in 2023 when they won it? Arguably the best team in LSU history, right?
In college baseball.
They were 20-10 that year.
They were 19-10 because one of the games got rained out.
Oh, that was a huge
Oh, yeah, because
Missouri
of that
game.
South Carolina game.
Or South Carolina game. That's right.
No, it was a South Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah, so they went 19-10. They go on to win, right? Lost 2 straight series that year in the middle of the season,
Georgia, South Carolina.
right? And so I'm saying this to say they're 10-5. They got 15 games left. If they go 10-5 and they go 20-10, they'd probably be right at the top of the SEC. If they go 9-6 and they end up 19-11, they're probably at the top of the SEC, a national seed. I say all of that because everything that they want is still right in front of them. You know, the LSU's best record ever in the SEC play was in 2013. What'd they do that year?
2
and Q. Right? And they're extremely talented. Like, they're the favorites to win the whole thing. It's not the end of the world. You swept. It doesn't look good. But the beauty of it is you have 3 other sweeps before that to kind of take the pressure off of that. The whole goal is to win series. If you sweep, that's a bonus. You did it. And you just chalk this one up to the baseball world, and you move on.
I don't think you can put enough emphasis on the fact that you're finally back at home.
Right. 2 weeks in a row on the road.
I'm a firm believer in this too. Like, I really do believe that this is a thing. This isn't. You gotta remember, this isn't football, right? Like, you're not the national champions if you got 1, maybe 2 losses on the year. Like, that's not a thing. Like, you're gonna lose some games in baseball. And so what I mean by that is, like, I'm a firm believer in, yes, man, like, theoretically, everybody wants to go undefeated. Yes, theoretically, you would love to run the table in the league, especially. This is a very hard league, and I think losing some games in this league literally teaches you something as a team and as a player, and understanding how people are attacking you and what they're trying to do to you and how to overcome, how to play in tough environments. It does all of that stuff. And usually a lot of way more times than not, honestly, if you think about it, and you just reference one, and I think Tennessee outside of last year kind of been on the same kind of situation where usually those teams that just kind of breeze through this league, you almost don't know what it's like getting into those tough situations, and you don't really want those situations, whether it be at home, whether it be in a super, whether it be in Omaha, those tough situations, you don't want them to come for the first time in that kind of a situation, because I want you to know how to get out of it, not be trying to figure out how to get out of it. That's what this league brings you and what it breeds. So, like, yeah, you want to win the league. Yeah, you want to dominate, but it's almost, and I know for a fact none of the players are looking at it this way. So understand that. But I'm saying remove from the game and understanding that shit teaches you so much in this league. And it teaches you how to get through and move on and get to the next step.
100%. Couldn't have said it any better than that. I'm trying to pull up the SEC standings right now.
Well, and there's a couple of thoughts in the chat that I wanted to get to because they're kind of where we are right now. From Gomaha, 25. Gonna need to go 8-7 heading into Hoover if we want to host through. 2-1 in the home series and sweeping Coachman area and dropping A&M series 2-1 gets to 20-10. I'm calling 17-13. Unlikely a top seed 19-11. So what number do you think LSU
I believe if you go 15-50 in the SEC, you're going to host a regional. Not a national seed, like top 8. I believe if you go 17-13, you're a national seed. I mean,
20 is the number. That's what apparently that's been thrown around.
I couldn't really hear the question.
He asked what the number, like what's the conference record they need to be able to host.
Because I think hosting is a huge deal.
Obviously. The regional or like be a national seed?
Both. Host a regional and be a national seed. Which one is like, to me, I think if you're 15-15, you're hosting a regional in the SEC. And if you are
Yeah.
17-13, you're a national seed. If you're 20-10, you have a chance to win the SEC.
Yeah, like if you're 15-15 in this league, you're probably still a ranked ball club, and I guess visually you usually have enough like really good wins, and it's hard to give a regional to a team that's like 13-17 like Florida was. Like it's hard to do that. Right. So 15-15 outside of some crazy year where maybe some other things are going on around the country, there's a good shot for you to host a regional. Yeah, that 17-18 win mark usually puts you at, if you make it through your regional, you're usually a national seed and you're usually hosting a regional, super regional as well.
Look, Texas 13-2.
The 20 win mark is usually the spot in the league where you're outside of a random year, you're the regular season champs usually.
Yep. Look, Texas 13-2, Arkansas 12-3. You get Arkansas at home, 3 games. Tennessee's 11-4. You get them at home for 3 games. Right? LSU's 10-5. Georgia's 10-5. But then you go. This is how deep. Auburn's 9-6. Alabama's 8-7. Oklahoma 7-8. Kentucky's 6-9. Obviously playing tough. They could have that series could have gone either way. And A&M, they're surging right now. They're 6-9. Right?
You might as well say A&M and Florida, too. You might as well call them Florida. Like, you remember last Tuesday, Florida beat a top 10 ranked Florida State.
Right.
And then they just swept this team.
Right.
So, like, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, they're out of the question as well, or they started the year as a top 10 team as well.
Right. And so I'm saying this to say it is a tough league. And every weekend is a tough weekend. And you have, outside of Texas, right, you have the 2 of the 3 teams that are ahead of you, really the 2 teams because Georgia's tied at 10-5. The 2 teams that are ahead of you get to play at home. Mm-hmm. Right? You get South Carolina on the road to end the season. Obviously, they're going through their struggles. And then you get A&M on the road who's hot, who's playing good baseball right now. Right? But I don't think that they're unbeatable. They're just playing really good baseball. And so you have everything that you want in front of you. Right? Texas obviously going to have to slip up.
And capable of it.
And very capable of it. Listen, they haven't gone through their struggle yet. They've found ways to win, and kudos to them. They're a really good team. But you have 2 of the other 2 teams that are ahead of you. You play them at home. And we knew it was going to come down to those series anyway.
It was never going to be easy.
No. So everybody just needs to calm down.
And
it's going to be okay.
And if you want to find like I said, the good, bad, ugly, Penn not bad.
Penn good. Listen.
Kept you in it.
If Myers can throw like that.
Oh, heavy.
That's a weapon.
The wild card.
If he could figure out, hey, whatever you did this weekend, and if you could bottle that thing up.
Just do that.
Hey,
drink that juice.
Great.
Like I said, man, I love that they lost the way that they did because the whole thing that we have been hearing yelled all weekend is why they can't pitch too many walks, this and that. You can't say that. So where are we at right now? Like, yes. Guys are coming on, and I firmly believe, too, like, even if you watch, like, you look at Chase Shores' numbers in his line, you do realize, like, he only got yanked because that was a game that Jay targeted because of how those things have gone the first 2 days. So it's not like they came into the weekend looking at it this way bro, we need a win. At all costs, we need a win, and I still got Zach Cowan available, and I still got Casey Evans available.
Yep.
So any sign of trouble, your ass is out the game, respectfully. I mean, I think that meant absolutely nothing to Chase. I think if Chase would have went out there and dealt, he would have gave him a chance to throw 9. Like, that's where it was. He was coming out at any chance because he wanted, I got these arms available. I'm not losing this game if I don't have to. And you just didn't hit enough to do it. Yep. But that's where it was. So, like, I fully think that Chase would have figured it out and given you a quality start and probably would have kept you in the game as well.
100%.
That's where it was.
100%. Paul Skenes, Dylan Cruz at bat number 2. Oof. That was kind of filthy.
Skenes is nasty. Kind of mean.
Nasty. First pitch sweeper, off the plate away. Off the plate away, they called it a strike. No, they just went girl-on-girl changeup. Like I said, nastiest pitch in baseball. Dylan swings through it. He's 0-2.
Got a son in to watch that.
I mean, that is – one was painted away, then one came up underneath the hands with a changeup. Nasty. Takes another changeup down, now 1-2. 2 outs, nobody on base. Paul Skenes, is it the top of the 5th?
That would make sense, huh?
Can you see it? I can't see it.
Yeah, top of the 5th.
Top 5. 1-2 pitch. What's going to happen?
Oh,
change up again. He's thrown 3 straight changeups to him.
Dollar walk.
Dollar walk. Mm-hmm. He's going to come all the way back?
Mm-hmm. Made a bunch of money off of some children this
Dollar
weekend. You can't. Well, you have to say it.
Ground out. Whoop.
Oh!
Fastball.
2-1 odds, you said?
Fastball elevated. 3-2.
Give me a walk. Give me a walk. Give
He's
me a
throwing
walk.
changeup right here. Going back to the changeup.
Yeah, inside.
Fastball up at the eyes. Changeup down.
Take. Sweeper away.
Fastball.
Fouled off.
99.
Good AB. Good AB. I love Paul Skenes, but I want to see DC
They're
get
valid.
one happen. Get something good happening.
I think Paul would be okay with a line
That
drive.
was the only one he was getting. Yeah, that was the only one he was getting. Hey, you get 1-3-2 heater. Here it is. He ain't getting it again.
I think Paul would be okay with a 2-out line drive single. Give it up to him. Ground out.
No, he's
Give
going
me
to beat
my
it out.
dollar.
He's going to beat it out. He's going to beat it out.
Nope. Give me my dollar.
I got plenty in the car.
Mm-hmm.
From Augusta.
But anyway, that back to what we were talking about. I think that LSU's in a good spot, and everybody just needs a tranquilo.
Tranquilo.
Let me ask you this: what would need to happen next week for you to be like, all right, some things need to be figured out?
If the offense does this again,
Well, we'll find out tomorrow.
This isn't happening again.
right?
Bro, they
Well,
literally just like
that's what I'm saying.
51 that's not
no
happening.
doubt. If you said what would they need to do next week for me to be concerned? It'd be having that type of offensive performance again, which I don't believe is going to happen. But that's a great point, Lloyd. They're going to find out real quick.
McNeese not bad.
McNeese good. I think McNeese is ranked in the top 25. Let's see. They're not in the top 25, but maybe in some polls. Not in D1 baseball.
Well,
LSU is 9 in D1 baseball right now.
McNeese 27-5 overall, 14-4 in conference, and have won 12 in a row.
Right. So they're coming in hot. This is the best McNeese team they've had in a long time, maybe ever. So, and look, and you can talk to this, Jared. As a competitor, I want that. I want to go after I struggled. I want to go in midweek and I want to play a team that's going to challenge me a little bit and kind of get my juices flowing, so I can get this shit right. Take out a lot of frustration, and they got every opportunity to do that tomorrow night.
Yeah, you're not looking for a coach pitch inner squad. Like you want somebody to bring the competitive juices out of you. You want somebody who's coming in here with their hair on fire, trying to embarrass you. Like that's what you want.
No doubt.
And back at home.
Good
And
weather.
What do you think about what they've done with the lineup? A little bit of movement around that.
I think he was just trying to shake it up, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Oh, that's my question. Is that because it felt like very much that going into that series, it felt like you knew what you had 1 through 9, right? Like you were like pretty solidified with that. Then I guess you're right. Like it's a game 2, game 3. Like let's try to figure something out and shake it up. Is that something that continues to happen? Or do you go back to the mean? You said Broswell hitting over 300 in SEC play, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, I'm about to say that's a number 2. Like that's sneaky. I think he's up to 242 on the year right now. Like sneakily getting back into what he was doing, and if he's doing that, I think he ends up staying in the lineup because the glove plays.
Well,
Right.
and one doesn't. No offense, but
I ain't say all that.
He's playing out of position.
We've talked about this.
God
Like
damn.
Jay's gonna continue to do the things he thinks that are gonna give them the best chance to win at that position.
Love you, Tanner.
But
Cool.
I mean, Braswell he's proven that he can do it, and maybe he's a little spark. Maybe it's a spark.
Yeah,
The rest of the
and a
year.
little bit of familiarity of like I've been here before. I've done this. You talk about people that have like been in this league before, and you talk about the additions. He ain't one of them. He's been at LSU. This says what he committed to LSU when they were in Omaha in 2023. Like you have some of that familiarity wherever you need it in the lineup. Like I know what I'm getting.
Yep.
And the other
Yeah, I
thing,
think there's a lot when it comes to him in terms of you got to remember when we sit here and we talk about all these guys who don't have a ton of SEC at bats under their belt. Like this is a guy that's got years under his belt. Right? This is a guy who hit 300 plus in the league last year. So as you're trying to weather the storm, finding someone who's on an uptick and doing his thing, it's a perfect person to kind of have in the lineup to kind of be a stalemate and somebody to continue to stall and push this thing forward a little bit. Like that's where they're at. And I think just watching him last year, how he went about doing his thing, how he went about being a leader in the clubhouse and a leader on the field. You need guys like that on the field when the going gets a little ugly. And I don't know if it's going to continue to go, but for 3 days in Auburn, Alabama, the going was ugly. And so how can we get back on track? Well, you need guys like that in the lineup.
Yeah, somebody like a sense of stability in a way. And obviously you saw the dimensions in Auburn. It felt like it played a factor for you. Obviously it shouldn't be a factor for Stanfield. But a lot of people are asking questions about the shift. What are your thoughts on LSU's defensive, I guess, lineups throughout of how they prepare for hitters? Because I believe Jay even said about Wanaka, like, he's the best in the country at doing this. And obviously you see some balls that go places. And just what's more of your opinion on what LSU does defensively when they shift and how they did it against Auburn, and it seemed to burn them a couple of times?
I have zero opinion on what LSU in particular does when they shift. I have a whole lot of opinion on what I feel about the shift as a whole, and I've already kind of brought that up before. I'm not a true believer in it because I think every situation, pitcher, stadium, whatever it is, they're all built differently. All those things are built differently. And so we like to put out there that this player hits this ground ball this percent of the time, but like, what's the situations to him? I'm not a believer in because he hits a ground ball to this side this many times, and I'm not even saying that that's how LSU goes about it. I'm just telling you how I feel. I'm not a firm believer in that. I think a guy, if you know how to watch the game, you know how to play the game, a guy can tell you what he's either on and or off that day at the plate. And I don't know about y'all, but I would much rather be giving away. I want to. I don't know how they call pitches either. So like, this is a kind of a crazy question because I'm not in there when they're calling pitches. I don't know exactly when they're executing it and whether they're trying to go after that. But like, I'm under the camp where I want to be playing where we're trying to pitch this guy.
Yes.
If that makes any sense. And then if he's showing me that he's either doing exactly that, we stay there, or if he's not on that pitch for the day. Say if we think that this guy is a person that's going to a right-handed hitter who's going to use the middle of the field to the left to the right center gap. All right, well, how are we going to attack him? We want to try to bust him in. All right, well, if that's the case, let's play him straight up right here. If he's a good hitter, play him straight up, see what he does. If he still seems to have the propensity or the want to shoot the ball the other way, then I know I don't need to be playing him straight up. I need to go this way. If I throw a heater inside and he doesn't even budge at it, I know he's not trying to turn on it. He's not trying to use that side of the field. So, like, watch the game and see what guys are doing. To me, I don't know how LSU does it, and I really don't care because I'm not in the dugout and they'll never give us that. But that's how I look at the whole shift. I think the overshift and the shift it's to me, sometimes when you use analytics too much, it becomes a crutch and not a reason. Yeah. It becomes I use it because the number said, as opposed to
watching the game play out in front of you. Yeah, right. Because I mean, even in the booth, they were saying, like, whenever it was Kate Anderson pitching, and he was like, I don't know why they're shifting here if you're going to go breaking ball away. And it's like you're playing for the opposite of what you're kind of setting up for. And the contingency of the shift, in my mind, is a lot on the pitcher. And it's like, how dialed in is he? Is he hitting his spots? And then you have to look at what the adjustments the batter's making throughout the game. Like, you can't just be like, hey, carte blanche, this is what we do.
You got to use your eyeballs.
Yeah.
You got to use your eyeballs, right?
And I understand the frustration with it, but I also understand that LSU knows more about it than we do.
And look, it's something that, like, there's a lot of teams that do it. It's not just LSU, and you know, it's not – I'm not a huge fan of it. I understand
the reasoning.
I understand sometimes doing it.
It only gets called out when it doesn't work.
Exactly. It doesn't really even get called out when it works.
Right,
honestly.
Exactly.
Like, only get called out when it shift. Oh, the shift worked. Good job.
Yeah, he's supposed to be right there.
Usually gets called out. Where's the
he would have been standing right there.
No doubt. And look, that's the nature of it, right? And I have never been a huge fan of the shift, but you know, baseball is trying to limit that to where they kind of take away the super shifts, you know, and so it's just something that's never going to change, and it's not something that I would put a lot of energy in and complaining because it's not something that's going to go away.
Yeah, but I mean, Fonz says it the same way that, like, if you played middle infield, played in the infield, if it's a lefty and we shift to second base side, throw 3 straight fastballs away, then a breaking ball away, like, you're not pitching to the shift.
Right. The breaking ball away, the breaking ball, like, out in front, roll over, I get it. It's the fastball away that, oh, damn, even if you get beat, you're done. He's going to shoot it that way, it's going to get done. You're going to be done.
That's just because that's, like when you see it happen, you know where to stand. Like even in the outfield, I imagine y'all do it yourself before the shift even exists. You'd be like, a couple of steps this way.
Yeah, now you have the card.
Right, but y'all didn't, right?
We started in 16, I think, 15 and 16 with Tampa, like one of the first ones to start doing it. Now everybody's got it.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like before that, when you were at LSU, you would be like, just see how he's pitching.
It was you're reading the swings.
Yeah, exactly.
Count, swings, situations in the game, no doubt.
And I think some of that needs to matriculate back into it. Like, because Jake's done a great job of having feel. Also, he's doing a great job of getting himself out of these mid-game interviews through the headset. You could hear it. They cut away. He did one of these when it was over. You could hear it. Like they cut the camera away real quick.
Yeah, I don't blame him. That's a tough thing to do.
All right, good. Got y'all.
Incredible.
Let's go around the SEC. I brought up the standings, and as it stands right now, Texas is in first place.
They had the whole thing.
They had a tough weekend. They won, but they had to grind through some wins. Where's the current standings? There we go. And Arkansas lost their series to Georgia. And Tennessee won their series against Ole Miss, but it was a obviously tough battle. What's your take on the SEC right now? What team do you like to win it? What team do you what teams do you believe are going to be kind of, not I won't say last man standing, but kind of in contention when it's all said and done to win the SEC?
Honestly, right now, like Arkansas still at the top of and that's hard for me to say, and I'm not used to saying it because we've seen them have great teams and not be able to get it done. But this one looks different, man. It really does. Like they just there's power and there's production up and down that lineup. They still have a top 4, maybe top 5 pitching squad in the league. They play good defense. Like those are the traits of a really good team. Like, let's be honest, at the end of the day, in college baseball, you're not facing 3 Cy Young Award winners on the weekend, National League leader in closes for the year. Like, you're not going to face that. And I don't mean that you don't have good arms. You're just not going to face that. Like, you don't have 3 number 1 ace starters in the big leagues on one staff. It just, I've never seen it, right? And so what I mean by that is at the end of the day, college baseball still hasn't changed that much in terms of you got to bang to win. You're going to have to hit. You're going to have to out-hit some people. And this Arkansas team is built that way, and we all know what it's like when you go there and play. So if they're able to get national seed, that means they're going to play at home for a regional. They win that, they're going to play at home for a super regional. And that kind of a team travels in Omaha and plays well in Omaha. Like, that's the one that kind of still sticks at the top of my head right now.
So their back half, I'm looking at their schedule right now. Their back half, they got to play A&M this weekend. Obviously, A&M playing good ball.
Yeah.
Right? They're at Florida.
Yep.
Florida, at that point, maybe Florida is continuing to roll.
You saw A&M do it.
But here's where it gets
sticky,
dicey for them. Texas, at LSU, Tennessee to finish off the year. Right? So you're facing 3 of the top 5 teams in the SEC to finish the back half, right? So they're going to have they're going to be having to play their best baseball at the end of the year. And then if you go look at what Texas got, Texas has to play that A&M Texas series is going to be wild. Okay?
Where is it?
They got Auburn, who's playing really good baseball this weekend. The weekend after that, they're playing at home. Texas playing at home against A&M. Right?
The Yeti Yard.
There's a lot of there's going to be a lot. That's going to be a hostile weekend, right? The entire Texas A&M staff is at Texas, right? Obviously, Texas and Texas A&M already hate each other, right? But the entire A&M staff is at Texas. A&M is going to play there. They're playing good baseball right now.
Very incestuous.
That's going to be a very, very interesting series. That's obviously a couple weeks away. I'm saying all of this because everybody that's ahead has got tough schedules. Everyone, right? It's going to be a grind to finish out this season, and I think 20-10 is probably a good number for a team for the team in the SEC to win.
Oh, if you get to 20 wins, not only are you hosting, you might win the league.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You win the league at 20-10. I'm not saying host. I'm talking about like
SEC
Tennessee's
champs.
got Kentucky, which obviously that's their own little rival.
I can't wait
At
to see
LSU,
those two
Auburn,
go at
Vandy,
it.
at Arkansas to end their season. So listen, a lot of baseball left to be played in the SEC.
And this,
But I'm with you. I'm with you with the Arkansas. I think as of now, Arkansas has shown to be the most complete team. But they're going to have to navigate a really hard schedule at the back end of the SEC, which is where you could be a little tired. That's where we saw LSU slip up a couple years ago. So it'll be interesting to see how they navigate the rest of their schedule.
I guess just a sidebar too, like when I look at Texas, so like Texas is one of those ones where you're like, oh, well, why are you thinking about Texas? Look at where they are and look at what they've done so far and look at who they've beat because they beat some damn good teams, right? They beat LSU, they beat Georgia, they've gone on the road and beat Kentucky, who was in the College World Series last year. They beat some good ball clubs. The only reason my thing is when I look at Texas and Texas has two guys out of the pen that have been all world for them so far. Max Grubbs, I think it's Dylan Valantis, I believe. The Valantis kid is a freshman. There's been 3 times already in SEC ball where they've had to throw him on back-to-back days. And maybe yesterday, I forget. Sunday, Saturday, whatever it was, day 3 there at Kentucky he gave up a homer to tie the game late, that broke his 20-inning scoreless streak. And the reason why I bring that up is because if I feel like as a coaching staff, if I have to depend on a lefty that's out of the pen back-to-back days 3 times already in the SEC schedule this year, that makes me feel like we're not that deep back there.
Right.
And that makes me feel like, who else do they have back there? And if it's not him, if he goes south at some point, who else can step up? And so, like, when I look at them, I'm like, there has to be some weaknesses and some soft points there, or else you would never go to a freshman that much in these kind of situations early in the year.
Correct. I mean, I would love to try to agree with you, but I think if you ask Texas, the staff, I think they'd tell you like they wish they had a little bit more depth in the mound. Right? They've been really good, but they would like to have probably 2 or 3 more guys that they could probably rely on. If you really ask.
Because when you got it, you ride it until the wheels fall off. So, like, I get it. I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, but it makes me think, like, all right, when it comes down to actually winning ball games, how long can you keep doing that?
Yeah. Agreed. It's going to be a fun back half.
Well, that's where I was wrong. I thought the cream was kind of rising to the top when it came to, nope, everybody's got to play everybody.
Not yet. I mean, outside of Texas, who's like 13-2.
But even LSU could have won that series.
No doubt.
Like I'm saying, now it feels like there's nobody really that much better than anybody else. It feels like SEC football again.
It is very good conference.
I think you're forgetting, dude. Like, there's 9 teams in the SEC right now with winning records in the league.
Right.
And 2 of them, here's the thing, 2 of them that have losing records, they just swept the weekends.
Right.
Like, that's what you're looking at this weekend. Like, this conference is deep, man, and it's super stacked.
Yeah.
What did Missouri do? Oh, I got swept again.
They're still
Missouri
in
they're still
We're on Wizard's watch.
Man, I don't know exactly. I don't know. I'll look it up right now because I've never really seen anything like this, and like to put it in context, it's a really tough situation to be in. Right now, they sit with their pitching staff that has on the year an 8.8 ERA.
Softball.
That's not good.
So basically, when you show up to the ballpark as a unit, like as an offensive unit, your mindset has to be 10 runs or we're not winning.
Yeah.
10 runs or we're not winning.
Yeah.
You know how fucking hard that is to do that as a hitter, as a group of hitters, like thinking like we have to score 10 runs to even think about possibly winning today. Because you don't get to an 8-8 by only giving up 8. 8 is that to me is like it don't
That's
work
the
that
best
way.
you're doing.
Like that's right in the middle, right? So like maybe it's 15 today, maybe it's 6.
Yeah.
But like you got to think 10 runs just to be in the ball game. That's so tough to do.
And
No
if you're the other team, show up to the park like we getting 10 to 12. Like easy, can't wait to play.
Can't wait.
Yeah,
Fight at the back that rack to get there.
Yeah.
Like, let me get an opportunity. Put me in, coach.
Coach, can you put my name in the lineup twice?
Yeah.
Can I hit like 4 times in one inning, please? Yeah, outside of them, and I hate to say it, outside of South Carolina.
Well, that's the other LSU's gonna like. It's becoming. I don't want to say the no panic button, but that's becoming one that you should sweep, right? You got to put South Carolina and Missouri in the same
No,
bucket.
man, I let it play. I'll give them.
Look, South Carolina's played tough. They've
played
lost.
hard.
They've had some brutal
I'm
losses.
really giving them one more weekend, right? Like, because I expected that to be a pretty decent series, and that ended up almost. You can almost say that was the best series of the weekend, like kind of, right? And so, like, I want to see just because we know who Coach Maneri is, we know what kind of a guy he is, but we don't know what he truly has in that locker room, and so like. Going into the weekend, it was a tough weekend for him. You lose it like you did this weekend, the way you did this weekend, which you saw a whole lot of fight in him, right? If that locker room is still there and there's a whole bunch of fighters still there, you'll see that this weekend. And if they got that, man, I wouldn't sit here and say that team's a sweep in the back at the last series of the year. I wouldn't be, because I don't think that if they're able to fight this weekend, I don't think they're as bad as their record shows. They may not do shit the rest of the year, but I don't think they're as bad as what we think they are.
Correct.
It's been tough.
It's been tough.
Oh, it's been real tough. Yeah,
I want
100%.
I want to pivot to another sport because I want to give us an ample amount of time to talk about this. Over the weekend, there's been a lot of conversation, obviously, in the transfer portal. And look, we've said our piece on it. We've done all these types of things. Over the weekend, it feels like colleges or schools or teams are finally starting to fight back to the nonsense and the craziness and the elevated sense of worth of every year being a free agent. The situation at Tennessee, and this was close to being my curtain call, but I just wanted to talk about it during the show instead of just having it at the end of the show. Good for Tennessee, man. I mean, you brought this guy in, and Nico, say his last name, Jared?
I'm a leaving.
What? How do you say it?
Lloyd's been watching too much AI shit. Iamaleava.
Yeah, Iamaleava. That guy was a superstar coming into college.
Pajama pants.
True freshman quarterback. Oh, he's got all this NIL money. Well, now he's doing the whole NFL thing where I'm not going to show up at practice. I'm going to hold out for more money, which is, one, asinine, right? Because we gave you a bunch of money to come to school. Now, the structure sets it up for that. So I understand what they're thinking. But at some point, it's got to be about football. And good for Tennessee for saying, no. We gave you what you wanted. You agreed to it. And you didn't do anything last year to make it worth any more money than we already gave you. So if you want more money, go ahead and leave. We're not going to do this. You're not going to be part of this team because you're sitting out. You're supposed to be a leader of this team. You're not showing these guys anything. We're not contractually obligated by anything, which is not good for the coaches. But they finally took a stand and said, all right, you can go. Right? And then there's rumors that came out that he was thinking about sitting out the playoff game, holding out the playoff game to get more money, and ends up not sitting out and plays terrible. So my take on it is good for Tennessee for staying strong. It may suck this year. They may not be able to recover from that as far as the quarterback position goes, but somebody had to say enough's enough. That's my take on it.
So I don't know, man. I'm kind of torn. Now, I'll give it to you like this. If he chose to sat out the playoff game last year, bullshit. Being that he chose this window, this time, if you will, to try to do what he's doing and then just not showing up for the spring game and all that stuff, low-key kind of bullshit. But at the end of the day, if we're telling the truth about the entire situation, he isn't doing anything that the system right now in place does not allow him to do. So what I'm saying is yes, there is morally higher choices that he probably could have made, but none of it is outside of the system that's already 100%. Built. So the truth of the matter is the system right now is showing that there is so many cracks, so many flaws, and when that becomes the case, so many people will try to infiltrate it. We don't know who's in his ear. We don't know what kind of nonsense they're telling him. And no, I'm not saying, and I'm not putting it on anyone else. At the end of the day, he's still got to make the decision and say, I'm going to go ahead and do it as well. But if the system that we had wasn't so damn broken, you don't have all of these situations going on. No doubt. And I think it's a very unfortunate situation. Now, we'll say, like you said, good on the other side in terms of saying, hey, we gave you this. You did not overperform it. I don't give a damn what the market is saying that this person and that person in this place and that place is getting. You get this because this is what we agreed on. And when you do more, then you can come back in. But you haven't done that yet. And if you want more, you're going to have to walk and go find it elsewhere. I do respect that. I 100% respect that. But I don't really want to shit on the kid because I don't think that the situation, the system is built for things like this to not be happening. It's 100%, just shitty, man.
100%.
Really
the system is broken, and there's never been an argument there. I agree with you 100%. And I'm not from the rumors is apparently it's his dad that's doing this, that's kind of driving this for him, and that's not a good sign. The system sets it up for this.
Yep.
Right now, in order to combat that, there's no rules and regulations and nobody's contractually obligated to anything because the system is fucked. But to change that, you need a team or they need to collectively say, all right, enough's enough. We got to figure out how to put a stop to this. And Tennessee said, listen, we can't do this anymore. Like, you either want to be here to play based off what we agreed at. NIL is a thing. We're going to pay you. But if you want more money because you can do that every year, that's your decision. You have the freedom to do that. We're not going to pay it. And, at some point, if enough teams do that, maybe that changes these guys' perception and changes the market in a sense of, all right, hey, I got to go and perform. I got to do this. If I ask for more money, there's a chance I don't get it, and then I have to go bounce around and do these things and be miserable where I'm at.
But here's the thing, like, what's the number of enough of these teams, right?
Because I don't know.
There's always somebody that's probably willing. Like, I'm curious to see what he does get on the market right now, because just like Georgia didn't want to pay Carson Beck, well, shit. Why do you think Nico's opting out? Because Carson Beck got paid $4 million somewhere else,
right? And
he's looking at it like, well, this dude did this, I did this, my team was here, his team was here, I want more. Like that, that's the shitty part about it. So it's like, if the system's not literally saying that you can't do it, somebody's going to be willing to pay it. Because guess what? Georgia told Carson Beck, you're not worth $4 million. Somebody else said, yeah, you are. Here it is.
I agree. Look, I'm not disagreeing with that. But look, someone is probably going to pay him money. I don't know how much they're going to get.
Tulane's in the market.
But he's going to go somewhere. And to me, it's bigger than, we're going to go sign good this team. I think that, like, one, if your goal is to play in the NFL and you want to go do that, but you're going to keep doing this every single year, then that's not going to bode well for you when you go and you try to get into the NFL. And teams are going to be like, all you give a fuck about is the money, which, yeah, let's get paid. NFL, it's contractually different, but it's like,
well, until
are you gonna? Is it about that or is it about winning? Is it it's just?
But this might become the norm to where he's the first one to do it, and then
no
you
doubt,
look down
and
the
that
road,
could change it the other way. 100%.
Right? Where it's like, hey, I'm just trying to.
Because all you got to see is like if they don't come up with a decision, and obviously we know like this thing is coming, but like there's gonna be a player that his play says this makes a lot of fucking sense. Mm-hmm. Then at that point, what do you say?
Right.
It's the first time it's happened. It feels like in like a big time Power 4 school, like the Carson Beck. I don't think people were really batting an eye at Carson Beck go. Like I don't think Georgia wanted to really you're not worth it. Nico was a guy that came in to Tennessee with the deal already in place, and he's like, nope, I'm good. I'm not going to go to practice. I'm not going to show up to my TV. Like he had things that you're not obligated to do, but he was supposed to do as the quarterback of Tennessee to meet with the media, and he wouldn't do it. Then he didn't show up to practice. Then it becomes his dad, and it becomes, hey, this is kind of uncharted territory, but if he's going to be the first, I don't think he'll be the last.
No doubt. No doubt. And it's not. I'm not necessarily shitting on the kid.
Oh no, dude! I was literally just gonna say, like, I don't really think people batted an eye because I don't think people truly see this transfer portal window the same way they see the fall one right after the season.
Yeah.
Like, who's looking for a damn starting quarterback right now? Nobody. Like, not like that.
Notre,
not at that
Notre
kind of a
Dame,
market
USC.
spot. So like,
North Carolina.
No.
North Carolina.
I'm talking about at those kind of numbers. Like, nobody is thinking that, hey, don't worry about it. I'll get my starting quarterback in April. No one's looking at it that way. You may not have your quarterback, but you're not looking at it like we're good. We'll wait and see who's available in April.
Yeah.
No one looks at it like that.
No,
so I think like that's why this one became such a shitstorm, even more so than the Carson Beck one, because you knew, hey, he's out there, and this time everybody's gonna be looking for a quarterback. Somebody gonna.
Well, look, and I think the bigger issue.
Somebody did.
I think the bigger issue, obviously, I don't like the fact that he did that. I like the fact that Tennessee said we're gonna hold our ground. But the bigger issue, and if this comes out,
fuck Tennessee over. Now they're looking for a quarterback.
But I think the bigger issue that if it comes to light that was a conversation, which it seems like it was in the playoff game. If this started happening in the playoffs, where you're thinking I'm going to sit out because I want more money, and you're trying to compete, that to me is a bigger issue. Now
that's the NFL conversation.
Now it's like, hey, you are in the playoff as a true freshman, right? True freshman.
Yep.
As a true freshman quarterback. In the top, trying to
redshirt freshman, he played in one game.
Okay, redshirt freshman, trying to win a national championship. You are in the middle of your season, and you're thinking about, oh, no. I'm going to hold out for the playoff game because I want more money in my NIL deal, instead of saying, no, I'm going to go finish this thing off. I'm going to compete, and we're going to win as a team, and then after, worry about doing that. To me, that's a bigger issue.
Hostage.
Now there's no loyalty to winning. There's no like, oh, it's about winning games. It's about how much money can I make right now, and I don't fault him for it because that's the system.
Well,
but if it's the middle of the season, like at some point you got to figure at the middle of the season you got to fucking win.
Not in the middle, whenever you get to the
here's
spot
the
you've
thing,
been
though, Mikey,
fighting for.
The biggest part of the season.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, and I'm being completely honest when I say this. Like, and I truly do. This is why it's so messed up. Is because I don't think the issue should be whether he's thinking about it or not, dude. Like, we played on a lot of teams. Like, you can go sit down and have boys' night and have some drinks and chill and talk, and you got dudes in the middle of the season talking selfishly. Whether you're on a good team or not, worried about how they can make this and how they can do this and how they can do that. But the system right now is allowing them to actually go do something about it, as opposed to understanding, bro, I'm under contract. Ain't shit to talk about until I get to the end of the year.
I understand that, but like in the middle of the season, dude, when you've been grinding the entire year and you can think about it, but actually trying to go through with it, because that is what the conversation is right now, that he was going to sit out of the playoff game. Like, to me, that's not good.
But that's my point. There's not another league that you can actually go do something about.
I get it. I understand.
Okay, so my point is, if that was widespread, if that's the way it was, let's be honest, there would be a lot of other fucking people doing the same shit.
Yeah.
If the NFL was run that way, and let's say Michael Parsons last year would have been like, hey, dog, I'm good after week 6. Pay me. I'm leaving.
No, I understand.
You don't think that would happen?
I understand that, right? I do. I understand that that's the way the system is set up, but
there ain't no system.
No system. But I just, in my head, when you're playing and you're grinding out, you fucking play, right? Yeah. Like you're getting paid. It ain't like you're not getting paid any money. You're in the playoffs. You're in the playoffs. The first year that you're in the playoffs, you have an opportunity to go and do that. I know what the system says. I just think that what the system can say do one thing, and I can tell you this, I would do it. I know a lot of guys that I played with would say, hey, I want more. I've played with a lot of guys. I want more money. But when it's in the middle of it, it's about winning. It's about winning. I will get my money at the end of the year. That's what's being lost with all the guys.
My only point is we've never played in this system.
I understand.
So we've never seen guys have the opportunity to say, You know what?
Fuck
I'm going
it.
to think about myself a little more than I will about the team right
I
now.
understand
We've
that,
never
but
had that.
that's the problem with it. Like, you ain't going to – there's no –
I know. So my point is that's not a Nico problem. That's
I'm
a
not
system
saying it's a
problem.
Nico problem. I'm talking about the whole system, the whole situation. Like, that's what it allows them to do, and that's fucked up, right? Like, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you got.
I agree with that. 100%.
Just because you can, just because the system says and allows for you to do it, doesn't mean that that's the right thing to do, right? To me, that's a money grab. It's being greedy, and it's okay to be selfish. But you know what happens? If you go and you win the playoff game and you go win
That
it,
money's
you
coming.
know how much money you're going to be making in the next offseason? A lot.
Then
a lot.
you can
and that's
claim
what's
it.
getting lost in the whole situation. Hey, you want to go make more money? Fucking play well. Go win games. I bet you get more. I bet you get more. Trying to get, because the system allows it, trying to get money based off of what everyone else is doing, not based off of what you're doing, is fucked.
Using the situation and the sport of what it is because of how much people hold college football dear to their hearts in terms of pageantry, the brand, the school, as opposed to the player. And then you see situations like this because the system, like you said, set up for this. Like,
right. I'm not
when
disagreeing
is
with
my
that.
leverage at the highest? Right now, before we play the playoff game. And it's like if you have the nuts to do it, but I don't think that's Nico. I think that's your camp. That's people that are in your
100%.
ear being like,
100%.
The
hey.
thing about it is, too, for me, is like somebody like Nico, where it's, let's say you're making 2.4, and let's say he wanted 4. I really don't know what the number is he wanted, but let's say he wanted 4. Throw it out there because that's what Carson Beck got, right? Or that's reportedly what Carson Beck got.
He was
For
getting
someone
2.
that has the talent and the ability of a Nico to, at the end of the day, be making such a big deal over another $1.5 million right now, when if you just fucking grind and you put your nose to the pavement and you just do your work, you'll probably come out on the outside making multiples of that.
No doubt.
In a year and a half.
No doubt.
Like, and I get it, man. Like, nothing's guaranteed, so injuries happen, things. I understand all of that. But I'm just saying, is like, that's lost amongst like some of these kids right now that are going through this thing, and I don't think that that's necessarily a bad upbringing or people around them, or not. We'll say
They're taking
people
advantage of
around
the
them
situation.
more so than that upbringing, because the situation that they're in allows them to
Right,
do this.
I
And
understand.
that's what's so bad about it.
And I think-
know you do. That's what I'm just saying. No,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
And I think it's a disservice to the kid. They're not going to be as good as they were going to be by doing that, in my head, in my mind, right? Like, now he's going to go and somewhere else. He's going to have to learn a whole new system quickly, right? And he's going to have to figure this thing out, and he's going to have to be good. And if he's not good, he could do this again next year. And that's NFL. I have to imagine NFL teams don't love that when they're evaluating.
You can't love it either, too. Because think about it. Like, you had a premier type team with a premier type talent playing quarterback for him, and now you're going to have to rely on – Tennessee right now has on roster a redshirt freshman quarterback and a true freshman quarterback. Look, I'm not saying that them kids can't have a good year, that it's impossible, that there's a 0.0% chance, but go back around in the SEC and look around and go find me those two situations on anybody's team where you saw them teams at the end of the year.
Correct.
Go find it. Go find it.
And that's why you say.
And that sucks. That shouldn't be the situation.
That's why you say, thank you, Garrett Nussmeier.
Right. I mean, there's guys.
Because imagine if this happened to LSU. Like,
Right.
he's not in the same spot, but in a spot to where he could have gone to the draft. He could have leveraged himself to go, hey, I'm going to the NFL. And he could have done it. He could waited longer to put his name into the draft instead. But if you put yourself in that spot, like, that's where you're holding the team hostage. And for Tennessee, like, where do you look? Where do you go? Because you're going to have to pay somebody to come in and play quarterback.
And that's the problem with the culture.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, Lloyd. Like, that's what's crazy about it. It's not even the same situation, because had he done that to put his name in the draft, you would have given LSU the
Ample time.
opportunity to find a quarterback.
Yeah.
This kid's doing this right now, where there ain't no starting quarterbacks out there like that, man. They're not there. They're all gone.
Right.
And
Except
so
for
now
him.
the one
And you gotta-
on your side is gonna suck. You're gonna have to go find another team and another program and another playbook and go. You're gonna have to go do that. But now this team, they're stripped bare.
Yeah. And
that
now
shouldn't be a thing right now.
No.
you gotta hope that since one, he's a high-profile guy from a high-profile team that was in the playoff last year. Unprecedented situation that he's doing right now with the high-profile situation I just talked about, right? So you've got to hope that by him doing this,
Spurs change.
100%, right? And that goes back to kudos for Tennessee for holding their ground, but hopefully this spurs some change and says, okay, now it's already been ridiculous. Now this is like
line in the sand.
Yeah, like teams are gonna have to fight back because now they're fucking us.
Yeah, and that's
we can pay, but now this is not even about money for this is just
abuse.
You're extorting us.
Yeah, it's extortion.
You're extorting them. They're extorting the teams.
Sue them for extortion.
Literally. Oh, you want me? You need me? I can leave now and screw you? Look how high. Now my leverage is real high. I'm going to extort you for as much money as I can. And they said, no.
Nobody's paying you.
We'll figure it out. You go.
Yeah. Like, that would be awesome. I guess awesome. Because I understand the situation why he did it, but it would be unbelievable if everybody was like, actually, no. Just Nico's out there with no money. Nobody's paying you.
He'll go somewhere.
Well, I know, but that would be the next impetus of change for all of college football to look at it and go, this isn't happening to us anymore. Like, because if you're Heupel, you have to be like, what the fuck?
Well, let me ask you this.
Like,
let me tell you, there's another point, right? He's in the portal. Jared mentioned, which is a good point, that, hey, all these teams that they already found their quarterback. The few teams that don't have their quarterback, why do you think they haven't signed one yet? They couldn't pay them the amount of money that they were looking for. The top quarterbacks in the portal, they couldn't pay them the money to get them there, to lure them there. So now a guy who wants $4 million, top of the market type stuff, are the only people that are available for him are the ones that couldn't afford to pay the bigger guys.
And it also leads to a conversation of if you're Michigan and you just paid Bryce Underwood, $15 million to come there? I bet he's looking at that and going, year one, can't wait for year two.
Right.
I don't want to be here anyway.
No, Lloyd, that's where you're wrong at. Because what's going to happen is everybody else in the nation, obviously, until this is done deal, that this whole rev sharing thing is going through, everybody else in the nation is going to be comparing their numbers to one Bryce Underwood.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting paid what? I need this.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's just like the NFL free agency, like quarterback market. Yeah. No, I'm saying if you're Bryce Underwood, you ball out like, okay, cool. Let's renegotiate.
Ball out though. Like what is he gonna do that's gonna say that those numbers are substantial? Like what can he possibly do to say that? Yep, you're the only one that deserves this amount of money.
Win the Heisman Trophy as a freshman.
Well, no. I mean, Nico just had 19 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He's on the open market for $1 million, and somebody's gonna sign him. Like, it's a name, it's a brand, it's things that get people excited. That's part of college football, and that's what people will pay for. Like, people love the idea of promise. They love the idea of potential. That's what college football is. If you see somebody that's a 5-star, number 1 ranked in the country, best we've ever seen, haven't seen you do it yet, love to pay you to see it, though, because people are going to come watch.
I don't disagree with that at all. I'm just saying, like, when you bring up the name Bryce Underwood right now, I think that is the biggest frying pan microscope situation to be in ever. Because it almost makes me feel like the real push to get whatever deal they're going to get done in terms of rev share and all of this stuff is literally based around that right now. Like it wasn't that until that became a thing, and it's like, no, man, because unless this kid goes out and breaks records and does stuff that nobody's ever seen before, everybody wants his paycheck. Everybody's going to want his paycheck.
It couldn't have been more of like an NIL-driven conversation. Like, he was signed, sealed, delivered until it became, what's the number to make you absolutely change your mind? And that's when everybody in college football should have been like, hold on.
The market just fluctuates out of thin air.
Yeah.
Right? There's no market.
Let me
the
call
market
a billionaire that has no ties to
100%,
Michigan.
right?
Except for his girlfriend. And it's like, what's the number? I could pay him $50 million.
Right.
Like, what does it at some
There was
point?
no market to determine him to get paid that much. It was, hey, how much are you going to pay? You pay this. And now the market just increased out of thin air because you paid a guy that hasn't played yet in college football because that is what somebody was willing to pay
market
for that
dictates
team.
it.
It's just they create the market. They recreate the market.
Y'all remember 2 years ago? Y'all remember 2 years ago when we went to Omaha and we went to Rocco's and they had that jello shot competition on the wall?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Is that not basically free agency right now in college football? Like, hey, how much did they pay for it? We want this many jello shots. How much is it gonna? Yeah, give us that many. For
Yeah,
what?
no cap.
there's
No
reason.
cap.
No
We
cap.
just bumping it. We just want to be higher. There's
Yeah,
no
no
cap.
cap.
We just want to be higher. That's what this is.
Yeah. It's listen, it's a
It's
conversation.
called. You know why this happened? The tariffs.
Yeah. It's a conversation that we're obviously could continue to go on all night. But the only hope that I have is that this will escalate the change. And
All
make
these
some
old
change.
whites are real upset about capitalism. That's what this is. You'll love it.
You're an idiot. All right. Lloyd, you got a mistake of the day?
I do. I have a mistake. I have two. But I'll share this one. Oh, speaking of politics, Ohio State visited the White House and one J.D. Vance gets his hands on the trophy.
Hey, whoever was behind him, great move by him for actually holding the trophy and letting
Whoa!
the only thing that fell was the stand. You know, at least the actual, like...
That was about to be a big disaster.
Yep.
Boom!
I mean, I feel like that's got to be on there a little tighter.
A bunch of lift some weights.
A little flimsy.
Little
Is that a mistake of the day?
That is a mistake. I have another one that. Did I put it in here? Oh, I did put it in the document. One more. This one's just funny. I think he's okay. But I don't know for a fact. But we'll find out together.
All right, let's see.
Paratrooper coming in hot.
Oh, yeah.
Arizona.
Yeah, he got hurt. He definitely got hurt.
Oh my God!
Damn, that's tough.
Pulled the chute a little late.
That's tough.
Folded.
Definitely broke his leg, right?
Yeah, ACL, leg. Look, somebody on the scene immediately, though.
Yeah,
His
that's
buddy.
Tough. That's tough.
Another one coming in? No!
Does he go in hard, too?
Yeah! They got...
Oh, my God.
Lord, you are enjoying this way too much.
That's a
Good
disaster.
God.
Was it Wendy?
I think they got the weights, like, on the flag.
Wow, that's tough.
Yeah, he's down to... Oh, he might be more hurt.
That's tough.
That's even crazier that it's in one place too. Like, oh my God.
Dang.
Oh
Crumble.
no! Oh no!
I love it. There's two. I almost watched the first one. I didn't know somebody else came in hot.
Wow, that's tough. That's not great.
Here he comes.
That's not great.
Mark.
Here you go. Look, it's the weight on the flag. Yeah, I mean, the panic of this. Crumple. That'd be
Oh
fine.
boy.
Tough.
Walk it off.
All right, curtain call brought to you by our friends at Perkins McKenzie Insurance. You got one of those, Lloyd?
I do. We had the same
Please.
one. We had the same one, but I changed mine because during the show, the WNBA draft is happening. And with the 7th overall pick, Connecticut selects LSU star Anissa Morrow. The All-American is fresh off a record-setting season with 18 points and 13 rebounds. Connecticut drafts the double-double machine with the 7th overall pick. So
Congrats.
didn't get a national championship, but
Congratulations,
good for the
Anissa
brand. Yes.
Good for the brand. First person to congratulate her,
Me.
Angel Reese.
Oh. And Flageo's coming back
Flageo's coming back.
and on tour.
Yeah, I know it was a little misleading sometimes. I was confused, but she is coming back. She was announcing she was going on a rap tour.
Everybody was nervous. Big 4 out.
Big 4 out, which
The
could mean
Big
a lot
4
of
in.
things. Not out.
No, just out the country.
Out for, yeah. Jared, you got one?
I definitely do, man. This is another one of those things that lets you know you're getting old as shit right now.
Oh, yeah.
Patrick damn Peterson. Man.
That was my second one.
On an absolute stellar Hall of Fame worthy NFL career. He officially announced his retirement today. An absolute LSU legend. An absolute NFL legend. Salute, brother.
Great golfer, too.
I'll put up.
Great golfer. He's going to be playing a lot of golf.
Yep. I don't know if this is a controversial take, but probably my favorite Tiger ever. Patrick Peterson needed him. Got him.
Maybe one of the worst calls in college football history.
Chad Jones will tell you. He was right there.
He had 2 feet in.
He pointed at the divot.
2 feet in.
Do you think that Chad I mean, not Chad. Do you think that Pat maybe joins the staff? People want him to.
Maybe. If he wants to. I mean, it seems like he likes that mentor stuff, right? He likes to mentor younger players. He did that with Tyron when he got into the league.
Oh, Kowtow.
You know?
That's why it's another reason why
I don't know
he's one
if
of
he's
my
going to be
favorites.
part of LSU staff.
Oh, Corey Raymond, bring him in. 2 Florida boys.
But I think he could eventually. I think eventually he'll get into something like that. I don't know if he's going to be on the field stuff
He's
all
a
day,
part of a
every day.
different staff.
Huh?
Golf staff?
He's a part of a
Different staff.
What does that mean?
NFL staff or something.
Oh.
He obviously knows.
I don't like that. Tell me.
Well, I'm sure he'll tell you off air.
Yeah, maybe.
My curtain call. Obviously, we had a nice conversation during the beginning of the show on the Masters, and could not go this whole show without bringing it back up. The first link I have in there, Lloyd,
I have it.
Rory McIlroy. Whether you love him or you love him or hate him, he was going for something that only 4 other players in the history of golf has done, and that is the career Grand Slam. There's only been one person that's had the season Grand Slam. Then you have the Tiger Slam, where he held all 4 majors, but not in the calendar year because the Masters is the first major, and so he won that one the first time of the next year. But Rory has gone 10 years without winning a major, and the Masters was the last major he needed to win to
Complete
achieve the career Grand Slam. He's had some epic meltdowns in the Masters.
He had another one.
2011, he had a 4-stroke lead going into the back 9 and ended up shooting at 80 and losing. Obviously losing the 4-stroke lead and ended up finishing like 15th. I don't even know what he finished. And so he had an opportunity to exercise
Those demons.
and he was well on his way. He had a 2-stroke lead going into the last day, double bogey number 1, two-stroke swing, ends up losing the lead, ends up getting the lead back, ends up increasing the lead to 14 under, kind of comes back down, hits a terrible shot on 13, goes through a lot of ups and downs, has a 1-stroke lead going into 18 with his friend Justin Rose in the clubhouse with 11 under.
Oh, he was on the
Rory's at
range.
12 under, right? All he had to do was hit the ball, 125-yard wedge shot. Hit it in the middle of the green, 2-putt it, go home. He hits it into the bunker, has a great bunker shot. Thought he was going to save it, misses the par putt, bogeys it, goes in the playoff hole, ends up hitting a better shot on the same hole and birding it to win the Masters. And this was the photo taken that kind of encompasses all of his emotions. But the other part of this curtain call is if you look at all the way at the bottom of the screen and you see when you get these photos taken, you get credit for the person who took it. Let's go ahead and read out who took this photo that is now iconic. Ken Griffey Jr. Yes, the same Ken Griffey Jr. who is in the Baseball Hall of Fame, one of the greatest players of all time in Major League Baseball, is now a photographer. And he took one of the most epic photos of the Masters of Rory, encompassing all of Rory's emotions and winning having a career day. That's my curtain call. It's pretty awesome.
What a life.
I like.
Pretty awesome. And then the other one we don't have enough time.
Johnson, baby. I like.
The other one I had, we don't have enough time. Kind of similar stuff. Joe Pompliano tweeted it. If you want to go back and you want to go watch it, Joe Pompliano talked about if you go and look at the last 6 minutes, 6 minutes and 46 seconds, Jim Nantz and Trevor Immelman, maybe the greatest call in all of sports. They said 46 words in 7 minutes, and they allowed the emotion of the crowd and everything else to kind of speak for itself. And if you watch that, you didn't even notice they weren't speaking because it was that cool of a moment. And kudos for them to understanding the moment and treating it with the respect that it deserves. So that was the other part of the curtain call. I'm not going to show the video because one probably get in trouble.
Oh, definitely. The Masters will put a gun to my head.
But it's worth listening to again if you didn't listen to it live.
Yeah, good for Rory.
Yep,
he gave
good
us
for Rory.
everything. He gave us the choke and the comeback.
It did. Everybody got happy.
He might reel off 4 or 5 in a row.
14 years he had been trying to win it?
So he didn't win he's been trying to win it since, 2011 was the first time he ever had a real opportunity to win it. But he hadn't won a major since 2014. I think he won 2 that year. And then it's been 10 years since he's won a major.
Yeah, this is after he peeled away. At the
So he had 3.
To finish the Grand Slam, how long has it been?
The Masters was the last one he needed. So after 14. So 2014 was the last. He won 2 majors in 2014.
Okay. So it's been since 2014, not 14 years. Okay.
Yeah, 10 years or 11 years now.
It was cool.
Winning.
It was cool to see it because it felt like he took just a gigantic.
It's been 14 years since his meltdown in 2011.
Okay.
When he was on top of the world.
When he was like,
even
this guy's gonna contend for the most majors in the history of golf,
Yeah.
right? Because he was 21, he was killing everything. He had almost had the career Grand Slam by 25, right? Like he's 35 at 2014 when he won both of them. Like had he not choked in 2011, he would have had the career Grand Slam at 25, which is crazy.
And then he'd have been divorced twice instead of just once. Couldn't finish that one out.
Jesus Christ. Okay. We appreciate y'all.
Have a good day, man.
We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you can't watch us, you like listening to us, or anywhere you get your pods. We'll be back live Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m., hopefully after a Tigers win in this midweek. Get them back on, get them off the schneid, back in the winning ways.
Need the win to have Jay on Wednesday.
Yep, need the dub. We didn't have a player on today because I, as a former player, can't expect these guys to come on the show after a sweep. It's not because they didn't want to. It's because of optics, and I respect that. I would not have shown up to a show on Monday and be that guy, I'm going to go out and have a podcast after a 3-game sweep. And so we don't put those guys in those situations. So
no, even
you had us.
Had the conversation, talked to him, and
Knew
laid
what
it out there, and he was like, I respect you for not making me do it.
Yep. And so we'll be back as a regularly scheduled program, hopefully on Wednesday after a dub. But enjoy the rest of your Monday night. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And we'll see you on Wednesday.
1 thumbs up, 2
Peace.
thumbs up, 3 thumbs up, 4.
Wasn't good enough. Wasn't good enough.
It's a sweep. We got
We
swept.
weren't good enough.
LSU got swept.
We didn't have any guests. That's why.
Oh, my God.
That's why.
Damn, tough to lose 4 when you only play 3.
All right.
Love y'all.
Jay, have a good night.
See you, boys.
Later.